early on in the training, I think we were still in the walk-run phase of it, and we were on a cruise in Alaska in the Uinta Passage for my wife's 60th birthday, and I had to go out and do a 35-minute training run walk. So I got up on the deck and I'm running along, and I had Strava on my headphones and said, got to the half-mile mark and said, 1 minute 38 seconds, half mile. I go, wow, really fast. And I went, oh, I probably have a wrong setting on there. Got to the minute or the mile, it was like 2.5 minutes. Like, wow, I'm really running fast. Then I realized I got done with 35 minutes. I ran almost 13 miles. And then I realized the ship was going on. Over the 6 months we've had her, she likes to eat paper. She's chewed up like 3 or 4 books. And I got a $1,000 check from one of my donors. Prepared the donation form, the 2-page donation form with the check, put it in there, and you really can't see this much, but she chewed up not only the 2-page donation form, but the $1,000 check, and started working on the envelope. So I had to call or emailed, and I actually saw her at church. I said, I know this is going to sound funny, but my dog ate my homework. Yeah. So she was very gracious about it. She went to the bank and they were going to charge her $29 to stop payment. She goes, yeah, I don't think this is going to be, it's not going to be cashable when it comes out. So she wrote another check and sent it in.
Runs, I hate being cold. So the idea of me running a marathon in November when it's freezing was like not even in my possibilities. Lo and behold. But the idea of me running a half marathon in November when it's freezing, 6.5 weeks pregnant, without being able to take ibuprofen was way out of this possibility, but that's what happened. So I had found out that I was pregnant just shortly before one of the last training runs, and I was kind of getting overwhelmed and stressed about it, and I was talking to my doctor, and he's like, it's fine, just keep track of everything. And I said, so that means I can't take ibuprofen, right? He's like, no. And ibuprofen is my go-to. So I don't know if it was the hormones, but I only cried almost twice on the run. One, because my knee hurt so bad, and I took out Tylenol, it didn't do anything, and I was like, just, it hurt, and I was just tired, and I was hungry, and I was grumpy, and I had to pee, and everything. And then the second time is because we were passing by, on this turnaround, and I see all these people in World Vision, and it just hits me that, Lord willing, I'm gonna have a water birth in 7 months or whatever, and I'm gonna have it in a place with a tub full of clean water that's fresh, and that things are sanitized, and that my son or daughter won't have to worry about it. They're not, that's not even, clean water to them is not even gonna be an option. And the idea of me having this birth, didn't even come to my mind until we're running, and I'm passing you guys, and I see that we have this, group of people that cares about other people that aren't here, and then other people that aren't in our group. And it just was overwhelmed, and I was excited, and it pumped me up. And so thank you guys for caring about other people that aren't here, and more than ourselves. And there's a song lyric from Andy Grammer, who I really love, and he said, it kept me going through, and it goes, we were born for this right now, say it until the doubts disappear, until the face in the mirror. And I kept having to say that on the run, because we were born for this. We were born to help other people, no matter how many doubts we had running, and everything, everyone finished. And just keep telling yourself until, the doubts disappear and you make it through. So thank you guys for running and being in. Last year was hard, we were slowing down the pace, but
we did this. Everybody kept talking about the hill. And so when you start, you're going east and you start going north, and then you go into this residential area, and there's this hill here, and I walked up that last year and thought, oh, well, that's not so bad. And then I got to Maple Bluff, and we got to that hill, and it was like, oh my God, I got up part way and I turned around and walked part way backwards, and then I walked really, really slow, and I thought I'm never gonna get up to the top of this, but I did, you know, and then there was a hill after that, and there was a hill after that, and then we got to the end and it was all uphill, and I thought I was just gonna die. So this year, I didn't get to many of the weekly practices, but every time I did go out to walk, I walked right behind my house is High Point Hill. So that was where I went. Every walk started walking up High Point Hill, and then I did whatever else I had to do. So this year, we're in the race, and I know where the hill is this year. I think I know where it is. It's like over by the lake someplace. So I'm walking, and this hill comes up, and I'm walking up this hill, and there's a guy at the top, and I looked at him and I said, where's the big hill? And he goes, this is the big hill. I said, it is? And I had to ask you if it was the big hill? Yes!
So I joke around about being a turtle, and truth be told, like, there's a lot of miles this training season I wasn't able to get in. I have a strategy for next year, so hopefully we won't run into that, but that's not what the story's about. So I started off a little faster than what I knew my pace was at that point. And I thought, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. I'll keep this going. I'll keep this up. But I ended up making up for it on the other end, and the amount that I was faster at the beginning, that's how much slower my pace was at the end. So apparently I just should have stuck with my pace. And towards the end of it, I'm seeing I could see the pacers. I started with the 420 pacer. I was thinking, I'm probably not going to keep up with this person. I saw the 440 pacer. I was thinking, maybe, you know. And then I was like, well, they must not have a 5-hour pacer, you know, because I hadn't seen them. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I'm ahead of 5 hours. Then I saw the 5-hour pacer, and this guy wasn't even taking his job seriously. Like, he wasn't holding it up. He was kind of walking with it. Then he'd jog. Then he'd stop and tie his shoe. Then he'd start like running again. And I was like, okay, all right, I don't know if I can take this guy's pace seriously. But he finished ahead of me, and then I saw the 5 hours, and so last year was my first full marathon that I ever ran, and I was under 5 hours. It was 4:40 something, I believe, and so it was kind of disheartening that it was that 5 hour mark. But then but I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I finished, and then I was thinking about it afterwards, and I was thinking about the presentation that Anne gave at the dinner, and she was talking about Vincent, and I remember his name because his name is my son's name, and the peasant farmer that had the water project built on his land. And one of the things that he shared was that they used to spend about 4 to 5 hours a day fetching water. So I was like, okay, 5 hours a day to fetch water. This finishing in 5 hours, it's such a little thing, you know, considering, you know, what we're out there doing. So that's my story.
Yeah.
During training, I'd always, usually most of the time, wear headphones and just listen to music, and just kind of like, that was my zone, to just get into a good music, a good song, a good beat, and just run. So the day of the race, I don't have headphones, and Dave's like, oh, you're not running with music today. And I was like, thank you for pointing that out. I guess I'm not going to. You know, I considered it, but I thought, you know, why not? Just, I don't know if I'll like that feeling of to be honest, the headphone on the ear kind of actually ends up being kind of painful after like 2 hours. So I just decided not to, which seemed like a good idea, but then 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes into the run, I'm like, God, what do you want from me? Like, I'm just like, God, you know, my thoughts are not like in the beat of music, and so I was just left to wonder about how painful and cold it was at times. But then, like so many of us here, I just had like a God moment, if you want to call it that, and and really just started thinking about how about God and like him and his personality and his goodness and all the attributes of God and his kindness, and that really just kind of like put me in a whole different zone that I've never been in. It was almost like meditating on God, and I felt so much peace, and I just kept going one step at a time, and I had a great run. I ran faster than any of my training runs, so it was awesome, and I feel like, you know, I could really just be honest and open with God.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So there's people that show up on race day that are from out of town and stuff that show up in World Vision jerseys that are running with us, and there was somebody running the marathon. I have no idea who this guy was, but
Cameron.
okay.
Yeah.
We ran about within a minute of each other the entire marathon. But it wasn't like a steady thing. I think we passed each other about 45 times. Because I would run, and it's like, and you feel like a kinship. You see somebody in an orange jersey, and you're like patting them on the back. All right, you got this. Keep it up. And so I'd pass him, and then I have this thing I can't pass, like a water stop. I have to get a water and a Gatorade, or like if I pass it up like right after it, I'm like, oh, I think I'm dehydrated. I start like freaking out that something's gonna happen. And so I also have to stop at like every porta potty that is along the course as well. But so we just kept on. I was walking the water stops, and he'd pass me and go, all right, at the beginning of the race, and pat me on the back, and then I'd pass him on the course or somewhere, but then by about halfway through, it kind of just started being kind of like. We'd go by each other and be like, ugh. And then I'd come out of the porta potty and be like, oh. And by like mile 22, he's like, he came up this one time. And we were just in Maple Bluff, kind of in that hill area. And it was 23, 24. And I was just plodding along really slow. And he came by me, and it was like we were at war or something. He was like, we've got to beat the pacer, like the 440 pacer, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, no, I don't. I'm in total pain. I can't go. I almost wanted to be like, go on without me. Save yourself. And then I never saw him again after that. I had visions of like us, crossing the finish line together. So I don't know if he made it. I don't know if he survived. Maybe next year. By the end, we couldn't hardly even speak.
I had actually went to the Madison Half Marathon to support a couple people last year, and I was like, I don't know if I could ever do this. This was last year. And then it was interesting when Stephanie did a presentation at the church, and I was like, maybe I can do this. I don't think this, okay, I know I can do the fundraising thing. I have some of the story that matches this. For context, in college, I lived in Costa Rica and did research on water resources in small scale systems. And so my host mom, Doña Flor, was the one that stood up to the statewide utility and said, we can get our own water. We can do this. They said, no, there's not enough water. You're not going to be able to do this. So she was the water champion in her community for 35 years. So it was really cool thinking, oh, hey, I've seen this in action. I can do this. I can do the running part. The running part's going to be the hardest, but I can do this. So every week, coming to the Saturday runs was such a big thing for me because I would not do this kind of running by myself. I definitely went from couch to half marathon, and so it was a big deal to be able to do that. And so getting to the finish line this year is like, oh yeah, I was the shivering person waiting by the finish line last year, and this time I'm actually kind of warm because I ran it, and I did it. So it was really, really fun to be able to do that and then understand Also, from a fundraising goal, I went from like $200 to $2,200 within a week. And so watching my community really stand up and support clean water was such a cool thing. And so it's amazing kind of seeing that transformation and also see people so excited about this mission. So, yeah, that's
Awesome.
To set a goal and not make that goal. And so I had not written a check yet for my fundraising. So I haven't reached my goal, but my goal is about 1,500. I still think I have about 1,500. And I'm gonna write a check for that today. Because we are so close to our goal. And so I'm just kind of throwing that out there because we are so close to that 70,000. And so if you have people that you haven't given that personal ask to, I'm just gonna kind of set that out there as a little bit of a challenge to you to just ask that person that you haven't asked yet, because we can still get to that 70,000 and we can still change some lives.